Hey y'all, y'all see that critter over there? At a glance it might look like a Holstein, but it ain't. That is the troublemaker DW, but you gotta love him. He's in goat heaven right now, eating that privet hedge, the little thing. I'll let him and the two does out this evening to graze a little bit, along with the chickens. So everybody's getting their sunset snack in. He got his time cut short for him and his sisters a little bit, or not sisters literally, but anyway. I come out after letting them graze for a little while, and guess who was in the feed room? And guess how many feed sacks were busted all over the floor? We'll leave that to the mystery of the ages, but needless to say, the chickens got to eat off the ground this afternoon. I had a good day. Was off today. It's kind of a rare Monday as we head into a work week. The rest of it will be nose to the grindstone. I had some things to do on mowing, and that Bahia grass is not a one-pass situation. Those of y'all that know it and East Texans will relate to that. But boy, don't this look a pitiful thing. I hate to even walk by it, that old garden. But, things change, don't they? It was all pretty a few months ago. It could be worse. I was thinking today, through my 12-hour daylight journey or whatever, it looks rough, but works hard on it. But it sure was worse last year. Not the garden. I was probably, let's see, what's today? Yeah, I was about 30 foot up in the air down in Houston, Texas, sweltering heat, out of my league, replacing light bulbs at a job that I had committed to, even though I had a full-time job to take care of. Well, I'd like to broke me. I figured if I never saw that place again, I'd be a happy man. So, hadn't seen it in a while, so I'll choose to be happy. Times change, things move on, gardens grow, they die, they move on, right? I don't guess you could have walked through this old pasture 2 or 3 years ago, so we're still ahead of it, ain't we? Beautiful day in East Texas. No, we got hammered by Hannah down south. Got some folks in need this evening. Praying for y'all, as it is with any hurricane or tropical storm or weather event for that matter. We humans tend to get in the way, and you have to pick up the pieces and hope the hurt is minimized. No, it's been a good day. Jordan is going to start a new venture tomorrow. Looking forward to that for him. He was working hard and heavy as a temp laborer early March, and I've been on the other side of the desk, so I'm not griping about it. I get it. Dynamics are what they are, but on the 89th day, he got laid off. Just saying. For those of you that don't know it, 90 days, you got to be hired on full time. So, I guess, bad as I hate the spreading wealth around, because I don't know where the money's coming from, to be honest with you. He made out like a bandit, and he stacked enough money. Goes back to work tomorrow for those that need to know. But he stacked enough money to where he can stop looking at those $800 and $1,000 trucks that we have to drag home and hope it'll run a day or two, to a situation where he's got enough to go pay cash for something that'll run right. So proud of him. So any of my Nacogdoches peeps, if y'all got to get a little running truck, we're in the market. But really proud of him for saving that extra godsend, I guess, or a little stipend. Got a couple of stories tonight. Both of them resonate pretty big with me. One of them I've been trying to figure out how to share for a few days. One of them hit me this afternoon. But I've got a good friend and business acquaintance of times past, but we're friends. And we still collaborate from time to time on some music projects. She's a booking agent in Nashville, Texas. Lord have mercy. Got to bring everything back to Texas. Nashville, Tennessee. And represents a lot of Southern gospel and some other acts, and well known in the industry. But outside of the business end of it, her dad, she's from Alabama, her dad was a law enforcement officer for years and years. And in the last, 12 to 18 months, health and time and age required him to have a kidney. So in November of last year, he put the call out for one. And those of you that have been through that journey, I hadn't had it hit close to home, but that is a very stringent process. Lo and behold, they found a donor not 2 miles from his house. Here's where the story gets good. This donor had lived a life of drug abuse and bad decisions. She was 7 years clean. It was a miracle in itself that the test showed that she had a good kidney and that she was a match. Let's layer on some more good stuff. Mr. Terrell had arrested her on several occasions as an investigator less than a decade prior. So, not necessarily friends, you could say. This young lady turned her life around almost a decade ago, got clean, and started a ministry among the ones that were addicted. Shoestring budget, she's a 501c3, not trying to make a lot of money at it. Single mom, working to make ends meet, gets a few donations along the way. I believe, talked to April a minute ago, I believe the place is called Place of Grace. I'll have to share this story here in a minute because it just blew my mind. Pastor said that, actually Gentry in the Sunday school said that the scripture doesn't say God works in mysterious ways like we like to quote, but it does allude to it, and this story tells you so much. 2 miles apart, total different worlds, yet the kidney was a match. The surgery's already happened about a week ago. They're both doing fine, and the doctors are mind blown at the recovery time of them both. Funny how God works, isn't it? He has a way of weaving some lives together and healing some wounds. This afternoon, I was doing some music work in there, and I don't know if it's a blessing or a curse. I'm going to call it a blessing, but my heart beats music. I think it's Dad's fault a little bit, but it's a good blame to put on somebody. I've still got that old Magnavox console, AM/FM turntable in my, I guess you'd call it a studio, where all my radio stuff is at. Hadn't been able to really get the needle to work right, so we hadn't listened to any of those old black discs that have grooves in it for a sharp needle to put the sound in the air, but boy, I remember many a record played on that old thing. And today I was in there doing some digital work. The church is on a new venture and got a little Southern Gospel station going, and it's up to me to procure some music for that project. And I got enough of it in my library, so I started working through it. But I wanted to dig a little deeper, back a little farther than the stuff we hear every day. I went down that wormhole that all of us can do, clicking to this and clicking to that, and then all of a sudden you're back in the 70s, listening to some stuff from a different time. Thought about this old rope. Y'all ever needed a rope? Most of you don't tonight. I'm not really a churchy fella. I'm more of a faith guy. Sometimes that merges as it needs to, but my pawpaw taught me, and I've seen it live with my parents, that it's about a personal walk and not about show. I could go on another couple of hours about that, but I won't. But I was thinking about that old rope and thinking about things and the fear that's gripped all of us, or a lot of us. And it's funny, a rope, when you don't need it, it hangs right out there on a water tank. I don't even give it a second thought through the day. Really don't. But if I was out in the middle of a lake, and I've been there, I've been desperate, out of gas, and the storm's coming in, I don't care if it's a shoestring you throw to me, I'm going to grab onto it and hope for safety. The worth of a rope or a shoestring. As I listened to the sounds coming through my earphones this afternoon and mixing things down and getting things prepared, thought about this old garage. It's been here, as long as I can remember, so that makes it almost 50. I think it's been here longer than that. There's an old Pontiac that used to pull out of this thing every Sunday morning that I saw. And, side note, our little scanner at the store sounds just like the blinker that would turn on up there at the Woden Road in the Loop as we went over to church on Sunday morning with Mima and the family. At Estee Lauder and White Rain was kicking in your nostrils in. Kind of wish face masks would have been in vogue then. No, I don't. But it reminded me of a time that was simpler. A time when a rope was cherished, even though I didn't know I needed it then. There was an old song that came on that I know well. Could almost sing it. Probably can't tonight. I won't. It'd be hard to quote it under the pressure of a live video. But I've walked this place for the last 3 or 4 hours, and to be honest, I guess I'm a little different than most. Y'all ever been hungry? I mean hungry. Broke hungry. So broke you can't even go get the 2 for $1 tacos that are fried to a crisp wherever. So you look in the cabinets, and we're past ramen noodle hungry. Past cutting the wiener up in a ramen noodle. I'm talking about so broke and so hungry that it's time to break into that quarter sack left of saltine crackers in the back that you know has penicillin on it. But you're in shape, and Friday and payday might be 6 days away, and you're just flat hungry at 11 o'clock at night. Maybe you're even a little bit despondent. Like, you know what? If the penicillin kills me, fine, but I'm not dying of hunger. And you eat it. Go back to bed. That's the type of hungry that sometimes it takes to look for that rope to help you. Some of y'all aren't there, and things are well here. I don't know that they've been any better. God's good. I'm blessed. My health's good. Got a good job. But it hit me like a wave this afternoon. It wasn't a sad wave. It was a wave of gratitude. Understanding the worth of a rope. 1970. She went to visit her brother. His name was Eddie Luttrell, and he was dying. He had cancer. The doctor said he had just a few weeks to live. She sat by his bedside and read the Bible and prayed and pleaded with him to give his remaining hours and days to Christ. And he wanted to. It was his sister, and he respected it. But he told her, he said, of all the drugs I've done and the life I've lived, sis, you know, I've even been in jail and served time. I'm a wretch of a man. God doesn't want me, especially at this final hour when I can't do a thing for him. Yet she pleaded and prayed. A few weeks rocked on, and she'd been a songwriter for quite some time. But she'd been struggling with a song about grace. Couldn't finish it. After a visit with her brother, she sat down and she finished that song. She did. I listened to it at least 50 times today, not knowing the backstory, but remembering the memories of a snot-nosed kid in Huntsville, not understanding the worth of what was headed into my ears from them old black vinyl discs on that Magnavox. Story goes that she finished the song, she performed it, and a little singing down south. Got word that her brother had died. But even better news. Person on the phone, the family member said, sis, he gave his life to Christ this morning. Y'all remember the song. I can hear my pawpaw bellowing it on a Sunday morning. Not here, but in Orange, Texas. And I think I listened to this chorus at least 50 times today. I shall forever lift mine eyes to Calvary, to view the cross where Jesus died for me. How marvelous the grace that caught my falling soul. He looked beyond my faults and saw my need. Y'all know her as Dottie Rambo, and she really was able to be anointed and minister through song in so many of our lives. Right where she died in a bus crash, didn't even know it, 2008, on the way back from a singing. That's what's on my mind today. Y'all can like it or leave it. Probably lost most of you, and that's okay. The worth of a rope. You know, it's funny as we find our way, and maybe we're not eating them old moldy crackers, we forget the worth of a good steak or a bowl of Bluebell. Might need to remember that those are around us that they're not going to tell you, but all they got is moldy crackers, and they're looking for a little help. Maybe a rope, a shoestring, and hope. We might be the one to be able to throw that to them, huh? Yeah. We'll see. Gotta lighten it up with these goats. They just will not attack that garden. They're content with an old loblolly pine that's hanging low in front of this chicken house. If they only knew the goodness that awaited that garden, be some good stuff to eat. I guess that's most of us. We're satisfied with eating an old loblolly pine when there's a lot of green stuff we could be feasting on. Thank goodness for grace. All right, let me do a quick roll call and get this old piece of wood off of DW the troublemaker, and we'll call it a night. Boy, it's beautiful. Let's look through here real quick, and if I can get it to cooperate with me. Here we go. All right, let's see who's checking in here. If I can read, I might need some glasses. Y'all, there's Aggie. How are you? Randy, what's up with the goats? Well behaved? No, they're not well behaved, sir. Not at all. I'm mad. I'm about to get headbutted. But I don't know. That one's got pretty fat today. What do y'all think? That is a fat goat. Boy, you are something else. Them and Sissy have been bantering back and forth all day. They're both scared of each other. She'll bark and they'll snort, and they both run different ways. Beats anything I've ever seen in my life. Hey, happy Monday out in California, Mike. Good to see you. Karen, everything's going great. Thank you for checking in. There's Nancy. Those goats keep you hopping. Well, if you let them, they will. Aransas Pass. Hope y'all are doing well down that way, Nancy. Good to see you up and checking in. Donna saying howdy. There's Dorothy out Groveton way. Roy from Lufkin. Oh, that's right. That's a dual account there. Good to meet you the other day, and glad you're enjoying the corn, because even the chickens won't eat that old dried up stalk right there. It is what it is. I was going to plant another one this year, but my beautiful daughter had other plans, and should. It was all warranted. She's getting married this October, and I know well enough if I put another garden in, I'll be worried to death about a silly garden that ain't gonna matter a hill of beans, no pun intended, at that wedding. So I'm gonna free my mind of that and just go out there and enjoy some family time, hopefully with all my kiddos, as she starts a lifelong journey. Danny. No, I'm kidding. They'll do fine. They're perfect for each other and love them both so much. There's Miss Hattie from Sunset, Texas. Maria, I hope you ain't at work. You're always at work and you always get in trouble. There's Susan, evening to you. There's my stepmom out Huntington Way. Hello, Miss Benita, how are you? Aggie, sorry, oh, Jordan, he's fine. Life happens. It's all good. Let's see who else is on there. There's Ann from Cedarton, Georgia. Donnie's checking in. There's Miles. My phone is faded on me. Y'all have to bear with me. From Arlington, Texas. Jane is checking in from Nebraska. I'm sure it ain't this hot up there. It actually been pretty mild with that storm moving in. Cloud cover's been back, so we'll take it. There's Doria checking in. How are you, ma'am? Patricia saying howdy from Muskota. Donnie from in Illinois. Lots of rain there. I'm gonna have to check in on my other two sons and my little grandbaby. Make sure they're not drowning up there. I know they ain't. I've already heard about it, but got another little one coming this fall from my oldest son. My other son's only about 16, so we don't want to hear any of that news from him. No, he's a good kid. Love him. Miss Janie from Ohio. How are you? Yeah, good to see you checking in. There's Patricia. And let's see. Aggie's saying howdy. Roy again. Planting some turnip greens and mustard. Well, I thought about that, Myrna, but not going to do that. Don't want to mess with anything around October. Be real frank. I love gardening. Can't beat fresh vegetables, but you don't miss the life moments in your daughter getting married. So I know me well enough. I'm not going to even enable any distractions there. So no garden this fall. Maybe after I get back, we can sneak one in. If I don't, I don't. Let's see. There's Allison. How are you? Miss Hattie Ann. Love my ropes and those that threw. That's right. That is right. Andrew's checking in from Interlochen, Florida. Dennis says howdy. All right. Sounds good, Dennis. I'll have to check that out. There's my good friend down Huntsville Way, Miss Donna. How are you, ma'am? Wild man, she says, as usual. Wouldn't be alive without that. Let's see. Say Grove out in California. Thank you, ma'am. Patricia. Let's see. There's Janie again. I'm trying, y'all. Hope I get to everybody. Thanks, Randy. I don't know about that. But thank you. Chair, I was thinking about you today. I'm going to be honest with you. You won't remember this. And I wasn't enough. I couldn't have went anyway because that time in my life, the pastor wouldn't have let me. Speaking of pastors, we was in band. I'm pretty sure this is my recollection. And you were drumming, and a good one. And I had bought me a drum set, played at church, and I think we were both in. I can't remember what that guy's name was. Our band director started with a W. But you were a drummer extraordinaire, and I was just a church drummer. That's two different things. I couldn't read music to save my life, but I could play whatever song them Pentecostal singers threw at me. And that's saying something. But I wanted first chair so bad in that band, but I didn't even play the drums. All I had was a trumpet. But I sure looked at him, I'm like, that Randy, he's going to get first chair again. Those of y'all that have been in band understand that story. But that's okay. I don't know why I was thinking about it right out there when I was mowing. I don't know why. That crossed my mind today. Isn't that funny? Good times. Good to see you on, buddy. There's Kathy. That was free. Sorry, y'all. Diana, how are you? There she is. Hey, Miss Faith, how are you, sweetheart? I still need an out soon. Oh, I'm going to get a bad text on that one. That's an inside joke. Leave it alone. There's Leanne. How are you? Pam saying howdy. Christy's out in Lowry Crossing, Texas. Deborah's checking in. New Orleans is here with Alvin. Deborah's in Michigan. There's Ray. How are you, buddy? Man, it was good to see y'all the other day. Good buddy Ray Lucas was in high school with him. We all grew up together. He knows Randy as well. Oh, the chickens have scared the goats. Isn't that something? Anyway, he and his lovely wife came up and paid a visit there at the store the other day. It was good to see them. I think they were doing a little golfing. Believe me, Faith, I am not pressuring you. I've seen that. That never ends well. That movie does not have a good ending if I push you in a corner. Take out too much like your dad, I guess. All right. Well, I'm going to check off here for the evening. We got a few more chores to do, and I think I can get these goats corralled up. Looks like JoJo's ready to get in. Kinda. Let me show you all this mess. She's in a standoff with a chicken at her crossover. Jojo, what are you doing? Your chickens are eating all the feed. Now, yeah, ain't that something? And there's them trifling turkeys. Oh well, it'll be all right. Y'all have a good evening. Be the light, and remember the worth of the rope. It may not mean much to you hanging on a water tank, but might be a few souls looking for it. Might toss it out and hold on your end and make a difference. Just saying, be the light.